Hi, this is Mr. Ing. Recording for Math 3 quiz number 4 that was taken on September 25th, 2015. Because this is your first quiz corrections, over here in this space, over here and past the double columns, it tells us keep this space blank. This is for your quiz corrections. So as you're doing the corrections and watching this video, if you did a question wrong, you should just be doing the whole problem over again here on the side. The directions say show all your work in the space provided box or answer, so I can identify that clearly. Question number 1, determine if the table of values has a first common difference. The answer is no. You have a common difference in your x values, which is as you go down you're adding 1 on each of those. But on your y values you'll notice that it subtracts here by 14, then minus 4, then add 6, then add 16, then add 26. So you don't. The second part says if yes, well the answer is no, so you don't have to write anything. And this question actually does have a second common difference. You notice it goes from negative 14 to minus 4. That's a minus 4. No, 16. Yeah, minus 14. You'll get a positive 10, negative 4 to negative 6 gives you a positive 10, also 10 and 10. So it has a second common difference, but only a first one. Question number 2, determine the table of values has a first common difference. The answer is yes. The reason why it's yes is because on the x values you're adding 1, and on the y values you're adding 4. So if yes, what is the common difference? The common difference is 4. You're adding 4 to the y values and adding 1 to the x values. Question number 3 says evaluate. So the word evaluate means you're just going to substitute. Every a value you're going to write 2, and every b value you're going to write negative 3. So there's an a value here, and your b value. Notice how when you have where my clicker is, hopefully you can see that, it's multiplication. It's negative 5 times whatever a is. So when you do your substitutions, you'll know that by you have these parentheses. Inside the parentheses, for a, you're going to write 2. And inside your parentheses for the b value, you're going to write a negative 3. Remember, this is not 2 minus 3 or 2 subtracted by 3. This is positive 2 times a negative 3, which gives you a negative 6. This is a negative 5 times 2, which gives you negative 10. Negative 10 minus 6 gives us a negative 16. Your answer is a negative 16. So you got 2 points if you did the substitution. And if you couldn't get the correct answer, I gave you 3 points. Up here, if you told me yes, but you didn't give me a common difference, I gave you 2 points out of 4. If you showed some kind of work on the table, then I gave you 2 points. That was correct work. Question number 4 is function notation. Given f of x equals 2x minus 2, find f of negative 5. So for every x value, you're going to put in x value is negative 5. So here's an x value. You substitute in negative 5. This gives you 2 times negative 5. That gives you negative 10. This is not 2 minus 5. That is not negative 3. Negative 10 minus 2 gives you negative 12. So f of negative 5 equals negative 12. Negative 5, negative 12 is the order pair solution. Question number 5. Let's see if I can zoom in. Number 5 is multiple choice, and you are asked to find the slope of the line. So because I gave you the graph, it's probably just easiest to use slope, which is rise over run. So if I start here, I'm going to count up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 2. 1, 2. So I have a rise of positive 4 because you notice on the y value, the y-axis, the numbers are going up. And then I have a run of positive 2 because I'm going to the right. So rise over run is 4 over 2, and that can be reduced as 2. So because there's multiple choice, that one's worth 2 points. Question number 6. Tell whether the slope of the line is positive, negative, 0, or undefined. So here's my graph. A couple ways you could do this problem. You could do rise over run. If I start from this point and I go up, that's a rise of 1. and a run of 0, and you can't divide by 0 in math, that's called undefined. So your answer is undefined. So a vertical line has undefined slope. Another way of double checking your answer is actually using the formula. I subtract my y values, 1 minus 0, and you subtract your x values, 2 minus 2. And you'll notice you'll get the same slope, 1 over 0, which is undefined. Question number 7. Using the slope formula, so you have to use the slope formula, that's what I'm looking for. Find the slope between negative 4, 5, and negative 2, negative 6. This question is 4 points. In class, we practice how you need to label your order pairs, x1, y1, x2, y2. The second thing I think is a common mistake for students who actually get the problem wrong is you need to write down the formula. The formula for slope, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. A common mistake in doing slope formula is this minus sign. So go ahead and just put a really big minus sign there. Remember to do your substitutions in parentheses. My y2 value is negative 6. My y1 value is 5. My x2 value is negative 2. And my x1 value is negative 4. Negative 6 minus 5 is a negative 11. Negative 2 minus negative 4, opposite of negative 4 is a positive 4, so negative 2 plus 4 is going to be positive 2. And notice I put the negative sign in the middle. My slope is a negative 11 over 2. Leaving it improper is fine, or if you had negative 5.5 would be fine as well. Question was 4 points. If you got 2 points for having the formula, you would have also gotten 2 points if you did the substitution correctly. If you made a simplifying error, such as your integers, like for example, if you thought that was negative 2 and you got negative 11 over negative 2, you would have gotten 3 out of 4 points. Question number 8. The number of problems missed on a test determines your grade on the test. We're just identifying independent and dependent. The independent is what happens first. So what happens first is you take a test and then you count up how many problems you missed, right? And then your dependent depends on what happened here. So if you missed 0 questions, then you get a grade on your test. Okay, so dependent is grade on your test. This is dependent on what happens first. So I did 2 points apiece. Question number 9. Each cup of boba milk tea costs $3.99. We need to identify the independent, dependent, and the function notation rule. Well, independent is how many cups of boba you're going to get, so the number of cups. The dependent is the total cost. And then your function notation will number of cups, I'll call that C. So every cup you get, you're going to get charged $3.99. So $3.99 is my constant rate of change, or my slope there. So $3.99 times C. Now, we make it a function notation because your total cost is a function of how many cups of boba you get. So T of C equals $3.99 times C. T stands for total cost. If you just got this correct here, this function notation rule, I give you 3 points. Or if you got both the independent and dependent correct, but the function notation wrong, I give you 3 points. If you got one of these correct, then I gave you 2 points. So what I do is I add up the points there. For example, I did this on my answer key right there for 4, and then I put the total in the corner so you can make sure that I counted correctly. I hope this was helpful for you for your quiz corrections, and you don't make the same mistakes for next quiz. The quiz was out of 32 points, and I make that equivalent to 100 on Aries. Thank you.